Hello everyone, got some really exciting updates to Baldur's Gate 3's patch 8 today with the stress test update number 3, which aims to fix some issues like the Halson who's just a floating head and arms, which has looked really hilarious. If you've seen some different posts about this, there were some issues that have been now addressed. So if you were seeing Halson that just looked like a floating head, this will be no longer. So we got ourselves some pretty great updates to Baldur's Gate 3, which we'll be breaking down in this video. I guess the first one to start with is the subclasses, because I know a lot of people just really want to see subclass related stuff. So fix the icons for whenever you were selecting new abilities. So like if you went with the Swarm Keeper Ranger, it didn't show actual icons for the action resources. So you've probably seen this in some of my videos earlier this week when I was breaking down some of the subclasses. They didn't have icons. Now they do. So this is huge. Fix characters facing the wrong direction when shooting luminous arrows. I actually seen this happen. So if you watch my videos where I talk about the Star Druid, sometimes they would shoot the little bow that they get and it would face the completely wrong direction. Updated and bound Hexblade's weapon to apply the Hexblade's curse if they're equipped in the offhand weapon. So the Hexblade Warlock is a new subclass that gets a Hexblade's curse, and now you're able to apply it if you got it in your offhand. Deepen Pack now works correctly in honor mode, so you now get the extra attack. This previously was not working for some reason. Now it does. Booming Blade. This is actually a big change. So update a Booming Blade to be only usable once per action taken. If the initial attack was not Booming Blade for extra attacks, one of the extra attacks can be Booming Blade. So if you're using the extra attacks, you can then use Booming Blade afterwards. But if you use it at the start, it cuts off your action at that point. The War Magic and War Priest extra attacks will now disable themselves if the bonus action is needed for extra attack is used before the extra attack. So as someone that really likes that single level dip of the War Cleric, it's now working properly with their War Magic. Death Domain Reaper passive will now no longer disable itself when using Meta Magic Twinned, but remain its inability to stack. Now, I don't see a lot of people doing a Death Domain Cleric with the Shadow Sorcerer, just because Charisma and Wisdom don't work together very well. But, I mean, with level 20 mods, I think that's nice to have fixed. Hexblade's Banishing Smite tooltip will no longer be specific to ranged attacks. That's huge because it was weird. You would go to select it and it would just look like the ranged Banishing Smite, and now it's properly both of them, because if you're playing with a Hexblade Warlock, you want to be using your smites, and now you can obviously see it more properly. Fix the animation missing for flick of the wrist actions used by long or short or large body types. The little action's cool. You throw your little weapon like that, or with a two-handed finesse weapon. So for the smaller short or large body types, now fixed. Song of Defense reaction are now sorted into the correct numerical order in the reactions. So that's nice to see, because it goes by level spell. So if you want to reduce your health taken by like 5 or 25, you can go with the level 5 spell slot. So it's now correctly listing these in order. The Blade Song Climax will no longer work if you have Blade Song impeded condition. Blade Song Climax and Blade Song will no longer be removed from the... So basically what this is saying, if you're wearing medium or heavy armor, you'll no longer be able to use your Blade Song Climax, which heals and harms the enemies, or heals your team, harms the enemies. So that's nice to see fixed. And it'll now let you know that it's being impeded. Clarify the Circle of Stars Chalice Healing must be used on the turn it gets activated. So yeah, whenever you go into the Chalice Healing, you must be able to use, if you use a healing spell, then the next ability you're able to do is the Chalice Healing. But if you didn't use a healing spell a turn, you won't be able to use the bonus heal. So depends when you want to switch if you're going to be doing some more support-based roles. Drunken Master's Redirect will now use the unarmed strike back at the attacker instead of attacking any other new target. So basically what happens with the the Drunken Master, if you get attacked and they miss, you can actually redirect the attack to hit somebody else, and now it looks proper. And updated Bursting Shot to now not cause every enemy in the area of effect to display miss when the target is missed. So Bursting Arrow, it does like a fireball like reaction. So whenever you're using that type of arrow, it'll make a big explosion. And if you previously missed one of the targets, it would show that you missed the others when you correctly didn't. So just to illustrate an example here, so with the Writhing Current resource from the Ranger, it now has an icon. Previously just showed a little circle there, similar to how some modded classes look. But now it has the proper icons for any of the resources that you'll be gaining as a new subclass, which is nice because they got some cool little icons there that I think is nice to appreciate. And we got some more changes to photo mode, which is kind of funny. If you have the Swarm Keeper Ranger, it'll actually freeze your swarm. I'm sure they'll probably fix that at some point, or maybe they don't know, but we'll see. So photo mode actually got a lot of changes. So added some messaging for multiplayer to explain that only the host can toggle photo mode on. So yeah, only the host can play it and use this. So to use it on a computer, it's pressing the F9 key, and I'm pretty sure on console it's to press both the sticks together. I can't. So I just checked a Reddit post, and it is the left and right control sticks to be able to enter photo mode on console. Now, also fix a bug causing the selector to jump at the top of the frame when adjusting any of the frame sliders on controller. So this is actually kind of funny. So basically, whenever you're in photo mode, if you're going to control like the placement of a character, it'll actually like jump sometimes them up or high if you're using controller. So this is now properly going to have them in the correct place here, so you don't have to worry about that. And fix a split screen bug. There's a few different split screen bugs that would happen, and that's not going to apply to a lot of people. Fix a camera movie getting blocked. If you enable the track character option, then click the reset button. That's actually kind of funny because I had this happen, so you can actually have it so it's tracking a specific character, like Dark Urge there, and you can see there. Doesn't always work the best, so I actually think it's best to actually take that off most of the time. So clicking the reset button in the top left will actually help a bit, but I still find that it's a little bit, it has some issues. So again, we'll go with that there and we'll try to recall it. It does see you can move it around a little bit, but I actually think it's better to go without the track characters. It gives you this free cam and you can actually just make it so that their heads follow you alongside that. So nice little change there. Fix body types 2 and 4 characters pinky and ring fingers stacking vertically on their hands and sitting next top to each other on the different poses. So there's a lot of poses in this and they've just made some minor changes to that. Fix the dramatic kapow pose causes the barbarian starting armor to stretch on Dragonborn characters. Dragonborn has a weird body type as well, kind of stretches certain things. Fix the photo mode message on the Steam Deck would overlap with button prompts, and fix photo mode keybinds on the keybind menu, and yeah, just small changes there. A little VFX, so fix a bug on body types 1 and 3. Chests would clip through their armor in spectral preview. There's still issues with certain armors clipping, and we can actually see it right here. So if you got Shadowheart's armor there, you can see it clips through. It clips through on the half-elf body type, so I'm curious if they'll fix that. It's been something I've been noticing in a lot of my videos, but yeah, fix some other clipping issues in the cleric starting armor bouncing a little bit too much when worn by body type 1 characters. UI, there's a bunch of different UI updates. So fix an issue causing developer scenes, sometimes appearing on screen. I actually had this happen quite a bit. So what would happen is if you've done any modding in Baldur's Gate 3, so if you went to go respec at Withers, it would actually show like the background of the character creation because there's a whole other world that it kind of pulls all the information from. So that was this actually was happening to me quite a bit. Fix the appearance slider and the character creation on console moving erratically. So there's a lot of little fixes to controller UI, which is nice because there's some jumping whenever I use controller. Fix item labels not being offset or off screen for split player 2 and split screen. So again, a lot of split screen fixes because that's nice. We got crossplay coming, so you can do split screen, all that kind of jazz properly. Fix the buzz causing the cosmic omen to disappear on the hotbar and spellbook after loading a save. So yeah, that's actually weird because I haven't experienced this myself, but the Cosmic Omen will be on your little bar at the bottom, and it wasn't showing up properly if you were loading from a save. Fix a bug on the hotbar for summons and followers cousin icons that appear shifted down. Some more button prompts. Fix the down button on PS5 controller, sometimes skipping over several options. So I guess a lot of these are just little issues with controllers not doing things properly. But as for scripting, fix the bug causing Shadowheart to appear dead when loading older saves that she should have been killed in the showdown with Lae'zel. This fixed the bug from happening in new playthroughs. So yeah, that's something that can happen, and they now have this proper. In combat, fix a bug causing damage rider to be added multiple times in honor mode. I didn't inhibit that, but that would have been pretty nice in certain instances. Fix a bug causing the Apostle of Merkel to appear tiny when you reload your game. I wish I would have got to see that. That would have been funny. Fix sneak attack not activating for actions that spawn additional projectiles like curving shot. So that's interesting now that you can get that working with a curving shot arcane arrow. So actually pretty nice little change. And I guess some of the big other changes, there's a lot of crossplay, so you can now crossplay with your friends list. The console a little bit more effectively. Fix issue with random session timeouts. So just minor fixes to the overall experience there. Fix the button where the mod verification window will accurately show whether a recently downloaded or updated mod was enabled or disabled. I was actually facing this quite a bit, and it's nice to have that all fixed up. And fix a mod issue preventing some modded class and subclasses from appearing while leveling up. This is huge because there was some issues with the overall mod class experience in Baldur's Gate 3, and yeah, it's now working properly whenever you level up and let's say you're multi-classing, so that's good. Some of the main gameplay ones, so again, Halson got fixed. Fixed the gameplay freezing when dragging items while trading or bartering, and I had this happen all the time, so this is nice to have happen. Fix the multiplayer issue where the host will get a black screen for 15 seconds when transitioning from crime dialogue. Honor mode, high hall, party members would die when reaching the top of the stem. If anyone was being dominated by an enemy causing game over, that would have been the worst way to end your Baldur's Gate 3 honor mode playthrough, I must say. And fix some shape-shifting items like those in the chest in the mundane, not appearing shape-shifted if they're created while regions loading. Fix body type 1 Durgar, incorrectly receiving halfling stats instead of dwarf stats. So again, there's just some minor changes here, like causing the dark urge to say dark. Actually, this one happened to me. I was playing on my tab, and he was saying, Father, forgive me, and all these other things, headaches, the lines that you get, wretched things, the dark urge lines, they were playing in tabs. Now this is properly fixed. So Really nice to see that all fixed, and there's some bunch of crashes that could fix as well. If you want to read the full stress test update, I will leave the description in the video so that you can check this out a little bit more in depth, because there's quite a bit of changes, and a lot of them are just little minor things. I think I covered all the major ones that got updated here in Baldur's Gate 3's patch 8. Let me know what you're most excited for in patch 8. I'm playing in the stress test here, so if you want to see any type of content from this, just let me know in the comments. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.